What if I told you that the smartest person in the room isn't always the one who succeeds? What if intelligence, talent, and even natural ability aren't enough to guarantee your dreams? Today, I want to share with you a story that will change how you think about success forever. This is the story of Ryan, a brilliant young man who discovered that the greatest battle isn't against the world outside, it's against the chaos within our own minds. Ryan was that student everyone envied. You know the type, the one who could solve complex math problems in his head, who remembered everything he read, who seemed destined for greatness. His dream was crystal clear. He wanted to become a doctor, to heal people, to make a difference in the world. His teachers praised him, his parents were proud, and everyone expected him to soar. But there was one problem. A problem that would nearly destroy everything he worked for. Ryan had a secret enemy, an enemy that lived in his pocket, glowed with notifications, and whispered promises of instant entertainment. His smartphone had become his master, and social media his drug of choice. Every time he sat down to study, within minutes, he found himself scrolling through endless feeds, watching videos, chatting with friends, completely forgetting about his books. The wake-up call came on a cold Tuesday morning in November. Ryan had been preparing for the most important exam of his young life, a scholarship test that would determine his entire future. This wasn't any exam. It was his ticket to medical school, his pathway to becoming the doctor he dreamed of being. He walked into that exam room confident, maybe even a little arrogant. After all, he was the smart kid. He always figured things out. But as he stared at the questions on that paper, something terrible happened. His mind felt scattered, unfocused, like trying to hold water in his hands. The hours of distraction had trained his brain to jump from thought to thought, never staying still enough to dive deep into complex problems. When the results came back 2 weeks later, Ryan's world crumbled. He had failed. Not just failed, he had scored in the bottom third of all test takers. The boy who everyone called brilliant had been defeated not by the difficulty of the questions, but by his own undisciplined mind. That night, Ryan sat in his room staring at his phone, and for the first time, he saw it for what it really was. Not a tool, but a trap. He realized that all his intelligence meant nothing if he couldn't control his own attention. The next day at school, something unexpected happened. Coach Miller, the physical education teacher, approached Ryan in the hallway. Coach Miller wasn't any PE teacher. He was known throughout the school as the man who helped students transform their lives. Students would come to him broken, distracted, and lost, and somehow he would help them find their strength. Coach Miller had heard about Ryan's scholarship exam, and he had a simple message. Intelligence without discipline is like a sports car without brakes. It might be powerful, but it's also dangerous. He offered to teach Ryan something more valuable than any subject in school: how to master his own mind. Ryan, desperate and humble for the first time in his life, accepted. Coach Miller didn't give Ryan complicated theories or lengthy books to read. Instead, he shared 4 simple but powerful rules that would change everything. Rule 1. Control your thoughts. Coach Miller explained that the mind is like a wild animal. It will wander wherever it wants unless you train it. Every time Ryan noticed his mind drifting during study sessions, he needed to gently but firmly bring it back to the task at hand. Don't fight your wandering thoughts. Simply acknowledge them and redirect your focus. It's like training a puppy. Be patient but consistent. Rule 2. Make a routine. The second rule was about creating structure. Coach Miller taught Ryan to build a daily schedule that included specific times for studying, eating, exercising, and yes, even relaxing. Your brain loves predictability. When you create a routine, you remove the mental energy wasted on deciding what to do next. Rule 3. Keep distractions away. This was perhaps the hardest rule for Ryan. Coach Miller insisted that during study time, the phone had to be in another room, not just on silent, but physically removed from reach. The TV had to be off, social media apps deleted, and the study space cleared of anything that could steal attention. Rule 4, practice every day. The final rule was about consistency. Coach Miller explained that discipline isn't built in grand gestures, but in small, daily actions. Every day you practice discipline, you make it stronger. Every day you give in to distraction, you make it stronger. The choice is yours. Ryan's journey wasn't easy. The first week felt like torture. His brain, accustomed to constant stimulation, rebelled against the new routine. He found himself unconsciously reaching for his phone, feeling anxious when he couldn't check his messages, struggling to sit still for more than 20 minutes. But something magical began to happen in the second week. His mind started to settle. He could focus for 30 minutes, then 45, then a full hour without feeling the urge to check his phone. His comprehension improved, his memory sharpened, and for the first time in years, he felt truly present in his studies. By the end of the first month, Ryan had transformed into a different person. He woke up at the same time every day, followed his study schedule religiously, and discovered that learning could be deeply satisfying when approached with full attention.
3 months later, another important exam opportunity arose. A different scholarship, but equally prestigious. This time, Ryan approached it with quiet confidence, not arrogance. He had spent weeks preparing with focused intensity, and his disciplined mind felt sharp as a laser. When he walked into that exam room, something was different. His mind was calm, focused, and completely under his control. Each question received his full attention. Each problem was approached with methodical precision. He left the exam knowing he had given his absolute best. The results arrived on a sunny Friday afternoon. Ryan had not just passed, he had scored first place out of over 2,000 candidates. But as he held that acceptance letter in his hands, he realized something profound. This success wasn't due to luck or even talent. It was the direct result of the disciplined mind he had cultivated. That evening, Ryan went to thank Coach Miller. The wise teacher smiled and shared one final piece of wisdom. "Ryan, your mind is like a wild horse. Leave it untrained, and it will throw you off and run wherever it pleases. But train it with discipline, and it becomes your greatest ally. It will carry you to any destination you choose." Ryan's story teaches us that in our modern world, intelligence and talent are not enough. We live surrounded by distractions designed to capture and hold our attention. Social media, entertainment, and endless digital stimulation have trained our minds to seek constant novelty and instant gratification. But here's the empowering truth. Discipline is not a talent you're born with. It's a skill you can develop. Every single day, you have the choice to strengthen your discipline or let it weaken. Every moment you choose focus over distraction, you're building the mental muscle that will determine your success. Your dreams are waiting for you, but they require more than just intelligence or talent. They require a disciplined mind, a mind that you control rather than a mind that controls you. The question isn't whether you're smart enough, talented enough, or lucky enough to achieve your goals. The question is, are you disciplined enough to train your mind to take you there? Start today. Create your routine. Remove your distractions. Control your thoughts. Practice every day. Your future self is counting on the choices you make right now. Don't let that person down.